So I wanted to take some time just to make this video just for anybody that's new coming into Eve, the Eve universe or Eve Echoes. And you get into the game and you're confused on what you should be doing. And you're not sure where to start, what ways to make money, what things you should be focusing on, and all that kind of stuff. And I want to just break it down for everybody just to kind of get the gist of the interface and the controls and how to kind of navigate through the game a little bit. I'll kind of show you the basics. Obviously, first you're going to click up here on your face. You can click down into settings, basic stuff. You can configure the game how you want. Just push notifications, so if you're playing on your phone, you can set that all up how you want. You can set your volume. There's battle settings. You can set the combat how you want. Graphics, of course. So all your basic stuff's there. From there, obviously the first thing you do is to get in the game, you're going to have a basic tutorial that's going to guide you through some basic stuff. And then you're going to end up with this on your screen. This is important to focus on. You should be focusing on the tutorials and going through the advanced tutorial 1, 2, and 3 as you get through the basic controls. So as you get to basic 1, it's going to give you beginner insurance. This will allow you to insure your ships. So if you accidentally blow one up or die on a tech level 3 ship or lower or a trainer ship, you can get them replaced. Understand you're only going to get your ship back. You do not get the modules back. And what I mean by modules, in fitting, these are modules. These are like your, if you ever play any other MMO, this is like talking about your weapons and your armor and in WoW or anything else. So this is like the weapon you pick, and this is like the skill base of the ship. So each ship is designed to do something. So this is like picking like a warrior. Next ship might be picking like some type of healer, DPS, all those kind of things are in the game. You just got to understand the stats of what each ship does. This is a missile style range, like a ranger ship. So this would be like in your classic MMO, would be like a bow style class. So this is going to be long range abilities. That's why they're missiles. And then I got some shields and some capacitors to keep my power up. Basic understanding of the ships is this is your offense. This is my total DPS, what the missiles do. Defense, this is the defense ability of the ship. You can go through this yourself. Offense, capacitors. So this is the actual power usage. So you can't just put any module you want on. Each module has power usage. And you can see right here, power grid requirements, and then how much it actually uses on activation cost and the activation time. So understanding what this does is to understand how to actually navigate your capacitor. So I know when I have everything on, my total abilities to use all my abilities can last 2 minutes and 2 seconds. So that's not bad. I can pretty much keep most of my stuff up permanently for the most part. A little bit more, probably like a 215, 220. I can probably keep all my shields up and all my missiles up forever. There's also something called rigs. These are like mods off your base gear. So these can modify how your ship works on power attacks, give you more DPS, give you more shields, give you more power. These little things are all being purchased in the market or craftable. So we look at what you should do, how you should start. You got to make sure you understand what your kind of goals are with Eve Echoes. Eve is a different kind of breed of game. It's not a theme park MMO. It's a sandbox MMO. So you do what you want. There's no hand holding in this game. You decide how you want to navigate through the game. You have what's called skills. And these are going to be similar to any other MMO. You basically level up skills. The only difference is you can modify yourself through ship to ship, so you're not locked to one class. So you can buy multiple ships and play different classes when you want to. And you can build those ships around your skills that you have unlocked to make the ship work best for you. So right now I'm leveling up weapon technologies and I'm working on missiles. Because I'm focused on a long range missile ship, I'm going to be leveling up missiles because that's going to be something I can focus on and that's something I can use. Eventually I need to move into medium missiles because I'm going to move into a medium missile style ship. Right now I'm using smalls, so that's what I'm focused on leveling up. As you get going, you're going to need to look at a few different things and I'll quickly explain them. There's a basic free-to-play version of the game, and then there's a pay-to-play version of the game. That's called Plex. Plex is what you use to purchase the Omega clone. So there's basically what the gist of the game is you're a clone of yourself, of your original mod. The clone integrates with the ship, the ship becomes one. And there's different versions of clones, that better quality clones that you can clone yourself as. So if you clone yourself as an Omega clone, you're gonna get more perks. The different perks are, of course, if you get any of the clone versions, you unlock all the skills, so up to 300 skills. You can unlock all the ships, so 50 more faction ships you can fly. You can do more planetary production stuff, which is mining minerals off the planets, not just asteroids. So you can do up to 14 mining arrays on 6 different planets. You can do contracts, which is direct player-to-player trading if you're a Mega clone. If you're an Alpha clone, this is not available. So this is free to play. This is if you're buying the subscription model. And then marketplace restrictions. So on certain areas, you can only trade if you're an Alpha player. As an Omega clone, you unlock this ability. So having Omega is important. Also with Omega, you get more skill points quickly. So as an Omega clone, you're only going to get 30. As a Omega clone duo bundle, you're going to get 30 plus more. What that actually means, if you look here under your tech level, this right here, 30 skill points per minute. This is actually your tech level to level up. So if you're wondering how you level this up, it's not by putting points into this, it's just over time. So your tech level just goes up over time naturally, and depending on what your clone level is, will depend on how fast this levels up. So obviously if you're a Mega Duo, you're going to get the level at 2 times quicker, right? So instead of it being at 30 skill points per minute, you're going to get 60 skill points per minute. So one of the things that you can look at buying, if you wanted to swipe in the cash store, is you can buy the Omega Basic for $6.99 or $6.49. This is based on your currency, based on your region, and then all the way up for $20 a month. You can also buy these skilled injectors. They're called like skill caps. These will permanently bump you up 5 points per minute, up to a total of 15 if you go to 3. So there's a couple things you can swipe on the cash shop. You don't have to buy them on the cash shop. They're actually available in the in-game marketplace. So if you want to play free-to-play, grind your ISK, you can actually buy all this stuff on the market. So you can buy the Plex, and then, as you've seen before, you can actually buy the Omega Duo with Plex, right? So if you have the Plex available, it's 170 Plex for basic, 430 for standard, 500 for duo bundle. So, and like I said, different bundles, different versions of the Mega clone give you different skill points. They all unlock the basic skills here. Doesn't matter what clone level you have, you get all the restrictions removed. It's just based on how many skill points per minute you get. So ultimately, the goal should be to get the 500 Plex and buy duo bundle. If you're going to be playing the game long term, this is over 30 days. So once you got that kind of figured out what you should be doing with, if you're free to play or buy to play, that kind of works out where you need to be spending your money on. So if you purchased the game, you bought the $20 bundle, you got all your Plex sorted out, you don't really need it, then you can kind of invest on something else. So you can invest your Plex on leveling up your ships, modding your ships. So if you're looking at modding, same thing in the marketplace. There's going to be high, and all the weapons you need are going to be available here. So depending on, obviously, civilian is the lowest level. MK1s are like the next tier up. MK3s tier up from that. MK5s tier up from that, and so on and so forth. So based on your ship, it might want smalls, it might want mediums. Depending on the ship, you can actually look at the ship. If you actually go to the skill tree, it'll actually tell you the modules that it needs. I think it's in fittings, I'm sorry. So it'll show you, it'll only be able to equip certain modules, right? And each ship under the details, I think it's under marketplace, it'll tell you. It's probably the fastest way to find it. So if you click on Condor, it'll tell you the type of modules it needs. So right here, small missiles is what the ship is good at, and it tells you the bonuses it goes for. So if you get a web fire, it does less capacity needed, so that's something you could use for that ship. and this one uses small missiles and torpedoes. This is what it's built for. And all the way down, there's different versions, different tech levels of the ships, right? So a slasher, same thing, click right here. This is uses afterburners and small cannons. So that gives you a justification of what kind of ships do what. And then you just gotta read through the tool tips on the ship to what ship you want, what kind of damage you want to be doing. Oops, not there. So destroyers, same thing. This is a torpedo missile ship. So obviously if they're getting bonuses for using missiles, you'd want to use missiles on the ship. You wouldn't use a railgun on this ship because they don't get a bonus for it. So just look at the tool tips when you're looking through the ship, and you kind of break down what kind of damage it can do, what it's most effective at. So now you got that, kind of figure out what kind of ships do what, you know what kind of ship you want to fly. This gives you a basic understanding of the UI. So when you're in a station, you're gonna have a couple things over here. You can set this as your home base. You can do repairs, you can do supplies. Supplies is your daily login rewards in most MMOs what you get. So you have your basic alpha unlocks, then you have omega. So if you have this, you can unlock the bottom tree. You always get the top tree. So based on, you gotta make sure you're in a station to collect this, obviously, because you need to have that supplies button. Like I said before, once you get into the game, you want to work on the advanced tutorials. So you want to work through this tutorial list. It'll tell you basically each skill I've unlocked most of these, and I'll go down to the bottom what I'm working on. So it'll tell you necessary missions. It'll have 1 or 2 skills right here. It'll tell you unlock by doing whatever. Train a skill, level up, and then it says optional skills, option to skill menus. So pick one of these 3, complete one of these out of the tree. Don't complete all of them. So if you pick completing deliveries, reverse engineering, manufacturing, doing ores, planet production, whatever you want. I find the easiest is actually to do encounters. And I'll kind of explain quickly what encounters are. So on this one, I'm on the very last one. It says complete 20 encounters, and then I'll complete this task. Encounters are actually right here. Encounters are like quests in other MMOs. So you have your story missions, which is if you do the basic encounters and you complete all the side missions to complete that, you can do a main story mission. And these story missions will give you loot boxes, basically. That will give you a chance to get some really good loot out of them. On those actual main missions also, they'll give you rewards. So if you go to the news, so we can see here there's a bunch of them that'll give you ISK, which is your main currency for EVE. There's no like silver, gold, it's just ISK. ISK and Plex. Plex is like for buying your subscriptions. ISK is what everybody uses in the marketplace. So this is your main focus on currency. This is like credits or anything else in any other space game. That's just what they named it. They named it ISK. So if I go do this mission, he'll tell me where to do it. He'll tell me a navigation point. So if I just to collect this mission, click begin. You have a little text pop up here telling you the gist of the mission. If you want to know the lore, you can read this. If you click confirm, it's going to set a waypoint to where I need to go. And then you can undock an autopilot, or you can click cancel, and then you can click this button when you're ready to go. So let's undock and talk about different ways to make money in the game. So one obviously is going to be doing those encounters and kind of go through the encounters again. So going through news, we have a little box right here. This is a filter menu. So you can decide what type of mission you want to do. If you only want to do transport missions, you can uncheck all the rest of them and click off the screen, and this will bring up only transport missions. So this is like your spaceship trucker stuff. So it'll be pick up some material, and it'll tell you how much cargo space you need. Pick up material, drop it off at the next place. So this is point A to point B, really simple. Most of them are in high safe zones, and you'll get paid fairly decent amount. Understanding safe zones is important. So anything from point 0.5 and up, basically with the green, it's going to be safe zone. There's going to be police in this zone, so most players will not attack you. Anything 0.4 and under is going to be red. That's going to mean players can attack you. That's where PvP mainly is going to happen. And anything that's in the minus. It's called nullsec. That's where all the really, really good high tier loot is. All the really big corporations are flying down there. And if you go down there solo, be ready to fight, be ready to die. Understand you can get in there and get some really good loot if your ship's equipped to do it. It's going to be higher tier, tier 5, tier 6 battles down there, so don't go down there with a tier 3 ship. You're going to die. So let's talk about the UI. I'll go back to... We want to go down to default settings, which we're on. So your menu's going to look like this, and this is going to give you a breakdown what your ship looks like. So you're going to have your speed. This is your capacitor. So this is your power system. This is your hull. It's one ring on the inside. This ring in the middle is going to be your armor. And this ring on the outside is your shields. So depending on how your ships fit, you can look at the tooltips on the ship. Each ship will be more dependent on shields, armor, whatever. So if you're got a really strong armor ship, you want to do armor upgrades for it and do an armor like regenerator, armor repairer. If you're a shield-based ship, and then like I said, one way you can check that is by looking at the tooltips. We'll quickly back explain this. So we can look at the armor resistances on the ship, defenses. Actually, we can look at it here. Is actually a better way to look at it. And fittings. We can look at here. So we look at armor. This is hull, structure points. This is armor, hit points, and then shield hit points. So if your ship is this number, whatever this number is the highest, that means you have the most of it. So that's what the one you want to protect the most. So if you're a shield-based ship, you want to put all your abilities into shields. If you're more of an armor, you want to not focus on shields. You want to focus more on your armor abilities. So that's another way you can fit your ship. So when you buy the ship, you go into fittings and you just look at the defense, decide on what modules you need for the ship. This will help you determine on the tooltips what you need. So obviously I'm a shield-based ship, so I've got shields to protect myself. So I got a shield repairer, or as a shield hardener and a shield repairer. So I turn this on, this makes my shield really strong to bust through, then this also repairs my shield if I do take damage. So let's get into, let's get into making money and talk about making money in the game. There's obviously going to be three main ways. I guess technically four main ways, three to four main ways you can make money in the game. And the most common one, what people are going to be doing, if you go into your tooltips, or your little overview here, it's going to give you a breakdown of everything in the game. You need to understand this is really important. So this is all, you can customize this how you like. All is going to show you everything in the region. And then ships, it's going to show you all the ships in your area. It's going to show you all the stations. So this is where you can dock to. So these little boxes are stations. Stargates. Stargates are jump points to the next sector. So if I'm in Rennes right now. So the connecting points, connecting stargates to different regions are going to be these three. Cosmic anomalies. So cosmic anomalies are going to be one of the ways that you do making money in this game. This is like open world, just grinding. In other MMOs, so if you come from playing like something like Black Desert, this would be like you go into a set region, you're gonna go farm mobs, you make some money, and if you go kill the anomalies in this area, so we can actually go do one, just kind of show you. So you're gonna click anomaly, and this little number right here is the tech level. So if you're a tech level 2 ship, you can go do tech level up to tech level 2s. If you're in a tech level 4 ship equipped with tech level 4 gear, you can do whatever this little number is. If the number is 4, you can go do 4 if you're in a tech level 4 ship. So I'm in a tech level 4 to 5 ship, so I can go kill one of these pretty easily. Small means obviously it's a small amount of mobs. Medium is going to be a medium amount of mobs. Large is going to be a large amount of mobs.
Warp drive active.
And then there's special anomalies called, these are scouts. And then there's different ones like dark space. Depending on your region, it's going to depend on where you're at and what kind of anomalies you get. So the best that we can get in a +9 zone is going to be a scout anomaly. And this will drop rare gear, rare mats for you. So we're going to get into a combat here where we're going to look at, we're going to have 2 ships spawning here. You can click this little icon over here to target them. Now it's up to you. You can put your shields on, put your capacitor on, and you can attack. So you can see that we're target this one ship and we're attacking. So as long as we attack this, and some of these ships are pirates, they will have bounties on them, so they will give you ISK for killing them. So we killed the 2 ships. We got 2,500 ISK for killing those ships for claiming the bounty on them. So we got 2 more new ships that spawned in. So we want to click the target button. This is like a free roam kind of PvP, PvE environment depending on your zone. This is where most of the fights are going to happen. It's going to be in mining zones or in cosmic anomalies. So if you're wondering where the PvP is, this is where you find the PvP. You're not going to find the PvP warping through zones. You go to an anomaly, and that's where PvP is going to be if you're in a PvP environment. This is not a PvP. This is a PvE zone I'm in, so this is not going to be a PvP fight. There will be other players here sometimes, and it's just going to be like whoever kills the mob the fastest gets the loot. So now we've killed the mobs. We need to find. Sometimes they're going to have crash wreck sites. So you can see a frigate wreck right here. So you want to loot this. You want to be within 10 meters to loot the loot. So what I always do is just go to approach. So we got 2 wrecks from our kills. So people can combat loot this. This is the only thing. You gotta be careful. People can combat loot your loot. So if you're killing stuff and they're within 10 meters or 10 kilometers, sorry, they can actually pick up your loot. We can actually turn our shields off. So once we get to 10 meters, we actually can click loot. You can also click loot and it'll auto path you there. I find just clicking approach is faster. So once we get under 10 meters or 10 kilometers, sorry, we're gonna be able to loot this. So we can loot this and it'll have something on there. So it's an MK with reactive shield. You can sell this on the market. You can break it down. See, we click loot and it says auto approaching. So it'll auto navigate you there if you don't do it that way. The UI is very simple, very basic. So there, we looted the 2 ships. We got like 6,000 ISK for killing a small anomaly in tech level 2. Obviously, as you go up to tech level, the bounties get bigger, the loot gets better. Right, so if we get into a tech level 4 or tech level 5, it's going to drop really good loot. It's going to drop really good bounties off them, so you can make maybe 100,000 ISK or more per anomaly on a tech level 4 or tech level 5 anomaly. So some of the UI buttons here, so this is going to zoom in and out. The game did actually respond. This is your speed of your ship. I don't know why it's not working, but usually if you click this again, it'll click you back in. You can pinch and zoom, and then this is going to be turning your speed or speed off. So it's stopping the ship, and you can click and hold this. And you can determine how fast you want to go. So if you want to go 80, it'll put this ship to 80 meters per second. You can see right here in the brackets. So that's determined on how fast you want to go. This little icon right here is going to give you a basic buff list or debuffs. So I'm in a combat timer. If you went PvP, you'd have a PvP timer. That you basically means you can't go back into high sec zones if you have the timer on, because police will blow you up. And basically that's it. So that's it for cosmic anomalies, understanding them, what they do. Go farm all these zones, go PvP, do whatever you need to do. Go kill these scouts, kill the mediums, kill the larges, kill everything in the zone, and then move on to the next one. So if you finish that, then you go to Stargate, you jump to the next zone, and so on and so forth if you want to just open world farm. Or like I said, you could go do your quests to make money. So you go do your quest, you go find out what you need to do based on what type of quest you want to do. If you are not into that and you want to go mining, so let's quickly switch ships here. So we want to go to inventory, personal assets. This is where our ships are. So we're going to click that, click set destination. They'll quickly jump you home. So if you're figuring out how to navigate back and forth from home, you can just click on personal assets, and then it'll show you everything where you've dropped loot off, and it'll show you where all your loot is. So this will give you an idea, like if you have a main base. So I've got 2 main zones I live out of. In Jita right now is kind of screwed, so I wouldn't recommend going there. And the other zone I live out of for mining is going to be out of Rennes. So if you just click here, it'll give you a waypoint to navigate to. So you just click that, and then this little navigation will jump me back to my base. And we can quickly switch to our mining ship, and then we can show you what mining does, how it works. Once you do the tutorial, I think it's an advanced level 2, you're gonna get a mining ship. This is the ship I'm using. And you have different fitting modules, so this is high, medium, low, and these are drones. So if you don't have this little icon on here, you can't use drones. So I can use one drone, 2 high fit modules, 1 medium module, and 2 lows on that particular mining ship. The drones for the mining ship, for the most part, are just for protecting you against pirates. We'll switch to our mining ship and we'll do mining. Right now, particularly in the game being brand new, mining isn't very profitable, but it will be profitable down the road because everybody will be manufacturing player-based stations, which are player bases. So it is going to be valuable down the road, and if that's something you're interested in getting into, that is a justifiable way to make money. So here's your mining ship, basic fittings. We've got some MK3 miner lasers on it. I have a drone, protect me from any pirates, NPC pirates, or players that want to come attack me. The drone will take care of them. I have an afterburner to get me to and from the rocks quickly, and then I have a small armor repairer on my ship, just in case I do take a little damage, I can repair myself. Same thing, look on the damage, right? I should be under shields, I just happen to have this laying around, so I threw it on the ship. This is a shield-based ship, so it should have shield, some sort of shield repairer or shield hardener on the ship, not an armor repairer, because my armor is actually at low. And then defense, this doesn't matter, I don't do DPS, this is strictly for mining, and then you can show the capacitor, how long you're actually going to last. So if we undock, we can actually go to an asteroid belt, and we can actually talk about how to do mining, what it's going to entail. This video is going to be fully uncut and raw, so bear with me. So you're going to click to the mining tab, you're going to see asteroid belts here, you just click that, warp to it. There is also something within EVE, it's called hauling.
Warp drive active.
That is a way to make money in the game, and we can quickly do that by looking at the market here while we're traveling to the asteroid belt. If you clicked on ships, clicked on frigates, you were going to click on... Let's go to actual cruisers, because that's going to be more justifiable what people are buying. There's no particular, only one ship in this region, right? So one quantity, 4 jumps away. Each station is its own entity of holding materials. So it's not like a global market, it's an individual market. Something like if you played Albion Online, it's going to be the same thing. So this one ship, this guy's selling it in this station for 25 million ISK. So you could technically go buy this ship, take it to a different place like Jeddah or any other popular place, and maybe possibly sell it for more or possibly sell it for less. Understanding the market and its regions where there's high demand for certain materials, you can move your mining materials around from certain region to region to make more money. So you need to look at that when you're going to a station and selling it. So you can only sell from whatever station you're in. You can't sell when you're in space. So now we're at the station, or at the rock that we need to mine. So obviously this is going to be the rocks that we can mine. There's different materials. This is the one in brackets telling you what kind of material you're going to get out of it. So if we were to approach this, click lock, this is a little bit far. I think we're going to need to be within 16 meters. There are 16 kilometers to collect on it. Or 17.2 for this particular miner. So we want to approach the rock, get close, and then all you're going to do is just click on your miners. And what I like to do for mining, so there, it's working out. Why it wasn't working before. So you just click this in and out. This little button right here, it'll zoom in and zoom out. Oops. So once you're within region, you can actually stop your ship. And if you clicked on this particular rock, so now you got 2 rocks within your region. Actually, we can actually click on this one. So if you click on target this one, so we got the little marker on it, You click this one rock right here. So as long as you're within 17 kilometers, then you can actually click this rock and click another miner. So you can actually see the lasers going to each rock. And this is to pull different resources. This can actually pull more resources. And this, depending on the strength of the rock, you want to maybe pull 2 different types of resources at a time. This will take a little bit longer to fill. But this is more of an AFK or semi-AFK to play the game. Now as you collect the loot, your inventory space is right here, or depending if you have it up or not. You can actually go and set, oops, right here, shortcuts. You can pick what shortcuts you want up there. But right here for default is going to be your inventory space. This is your skill trainers, and this is obviously encounters. So if you want to quickly click this, you can change these around obviously. So you can always go to set shortcuts. You can turn encounters off. And if you want to know how much money you have, that'll show your ISK. So as your inventory obviously fills up, if you look on a mining ship, they're a little bit different. They have drone bays and an ore hold. So the ore hold is a little bit different than the regular cargo of the ship. This is its regular cargo is 100 cubic meters, or I think it's cubic meters. Whatever M3 stands for. And then the ore hold is going to be 2,500. Obviously, the ore hold is strictly for ore. That's why the ship's a mining ship. So obviously, if someone says it needs a lot of space for ore, this is the ship you want to take to go collect it. So as you collect your ore, there's 2 things you can do with it. We can actually go back. We're just doing this for tutorial purposes, so we're not going to do the full mine. We're going to go back to our main station for mining, which is Ren's. You can also do it through stations if you know what station you live in, but this is easy for me. I just pick whatever out of the personal assets menu to navigate. And this is how I do it in Eve as well.
Warp drive active.
So I've given you anomalies. I've given you the understanding of encounters. Those are the number 2. Those are the main two ways to make money. Number 3 is going to be mining. Now, it's what you do with the mining ores. It's going to be up to you on how you're going to make the money. This is going to be breaking down in 3 and 4 of making money in Eve. So 1, obviously, you can just take your ore, right? So I've got some here. I could take it. I could go sell on the market, right? And I can see the base price right now for this ore in this region is a 17.4 S per ore. And that's the base raw ore. I could take the ore and go to reprocessing, and that would give me base materials. Actually, I don't want to do that. And the reason I don't want to do that is because I don't have the skills to reprocess efficiently. So if you go into industrial technologies, reprocessing, if you look at here, common reprocessing, there's bonuses for each type of ore that you want to reprocess, right? So there's 40% for these types of ores. If you go to advanced common reprocesses, it's another 30%. So once you max these out and you go to expert, another 25%, and so on and so forth, 50%, and it goes down and down the list, right? So you want to have all this basically unlocked, or most of it unlocked, and maxed out to Tech 5 or level 5 before you start reprocessing ores to get the most out of your money. Now, if you're eager and just need some mats to manufacture something, it's fine, you can do it. I'd recommend not doing it until you get the reprocessing done. So if you just want to sell your ores, you can. Understand right now on the market, because everybody's grinding ISK and everybody's spending that ISK on Plex, because everybody's either free to play or they know that's a good thing to be buying and selling right now. The prices on manufacturing materials is going to be down. So for most places, raw ore is at 1 ISK per, right? So this particular guy in this region is trying to sell it for 17.4. I can go 5 jumps away and buy it for 1 ISK. So if you're interested in ores and materials for buying and selling, if you know like supply and demand, you know this is the lowest it can ever go. 1 ISK, it can't go any lower than that. You could jump around and actually buy all this or all these raw materials up, level up your processing, and then process all these ores once you have the level for it. And this would be a good time to buy these ores. And same thing with the minerals. As you break down the ores to turn into minerals, a lot of this stuff is right bottom rock prices. So this guy broke down 26,000 of this stuff. I don't know why. He lost a ton of money doing it. But you could basically go snag this up, wait a couple weeks for the prices to go up, and then resell it. Or you could save it for yourself and do manufacturing. So if we go into industrial, this is going to be the step 4 on making money and playing the game. This is where a lot of people make a lot of money in EVE Online. And I'm sure it's going to be the same thing in EVE Echoes, is industrial. The good thing with EVE Echoes compared to EVE Online is you don't need to be in the manufacturing station to do manufacturing. You just need to go into the manufacturing tab. You need to have a blueprint for whatever you're trying to manufacture. So if I'm trying to manufacture some of the top level ships, so for example, let's look at a Scorpion, which is probably one of the better ships in the game. I'm gonna need a Scorpion blueprint, which I don't have. I'm gonna need some planetary materials, which are gonna come off mining planets, which we'll get into in a second, and then the minerals from mining asteroid belts. So you can see the amount you need for each thing here, right down. It breaks everything down. You don't need to guess on how much you need. It tells you everything you need for buying this, and you can even click right here, purchase materials. So you pick a station that you can do your manufacturing in, and then bring all your resources to that place, and that will help you kind of manage your materials that way. So you can see we don't have no matching orders for any of this stuff in the local area that we're in. So in Rennes, particularly, no one's selling this stuff. So if you're looking at buying materials to manufacture, you might want to be in a higher populated zone like Jeddah or some of the other major centers that are going to have all these minerals on hand. Like I said, you can kind of look at the market and see where these minerals are actually being held. But by going to manufacturing minerals, so if there's something you need, you can see a lot of it's in Jeddah, a lot of it's in Oris. Different centers are going to have different quantities. Obviously, the ones with the most quantities is going to be obviously the more popular zone. Jeddah is always the most popular place to be for manufacturing. That's where a lot of the materials and ships are going to come out of. Right now, it's a very popular area, so it's hard to get out and out of, but there's like a player cap on it of 1,000 players per the zone. So right now it's capped out. So you might want to look at one of the other zones if that's something you're interested in buying these materials. And then to get blueprints, if you're curious, like, well, how do I get this blueprint? Well, you need to get the blueprint by actually doing reverse engineering, or it can actually drop off an erect ship, or some quest missions will give it. So if you wanted this rattlesnake blueprint, I would need this particular type of ship debris, basically types of ships that you kill in certain regions and anomalies, like we were showing before when we were killing those anomalies. Sometimes they can drop ship debris in the wreckage, depending on the tech level that you're fighting. This is going to be a tech level 8 ship, so you need to be in a tech level 8 zone to get this, probably get this type of material. And then you're going to need data cores. These aren't generally too hard to find. They'll be on the marketplace as well. So same thing, you can go here to buy them. Again, nothing's in Rennes right now. Not a lot of people are in Rennes. Eventually people will migrate over here because it's good for mining and manufacturing. But you can see right here, obviously none of it's on the market right now because the game's only been out a few days. These are the materials you need, and then you'd reverse engineer this to try and get a blueprint. Understand, when you go to do reverse engineering, it's not a guaranteed success. It's an RNG drop rate of the blueprint. So you might have to do this a few times to get the blueprint that you're after. But all the blueprints are available for all the items in the game. For all the ships in the game, sorry. This is how you obtain them. So same thing, if you want any high-end resources, you need certain types of materials. You need tech level 10 to even be able to do this. You need the interbus hulls, and you need the data cores. So if whatever your tech levels is what you can actually do it up to. So I'm tech level 5. So I could do Adventure 2 on industrial, on cruisers. I would probably do something like this because I'm into, see, it's the checkbox, it got approved. Success rate, depending on your materials, will give you a depending the success rate. I don't have any material, so it will show you a percentage on how successful you're going to be on breaking this down. And I believe there is skills in production and manufacturing. There's stuff in here that can actually boost up that reverse engineering. I can't remember exactly where it is. If you look through here, though, there's actually... Is it in here? Scrap metal processing? Sorry, I can't remember where it is exactly. There is some stuff in here to help you boost that up a little bit, I believe. So you have to look through all the skills and see what skills you need. So based on what you're trying to do, you want to focus on the skills for that. I'm focusing on PvE, combat, so my skills are focused on that. So I'm obviously upgrading missile torpedoes, I'm upgrading ship controls, using my abilities, using frigates, using destroyers. Next going to be into cruisers. And there's also things called skill points. As you obtain them, you can actually expedite the skills to actually level them up quicker. So if you have a bunch of extra skill points, which I have 0 right now, you could actually speed up the skill level. I think that's basically it. I think running through the tutorial is going to be important for you to understand the game. It's going to give you a basic understanding of the controls. One thing also you can do is this little eye right here.
How are you feeling, pilot?
This will give you some basic for the basic tutorials, advanced tutorials, tutorial controls if you're confused. Some Q&A. There's a guide. Also, one thing here is career plan, which can be useful. It can kind of give you a navigation of what kind of path you're trying to go down. If you're trying to go down military, which is going to be PvE, combat. If you're trying to do manufacturing, it'll kind of give you guys. If you're trying to do business, it'll break down what you should be leveling. So you want to level freight to +5. So you'd level this to +5. And then you'd level planetology to 5, freight to 5, trade, accounting, industrial ships, so on and so forth. And you keep moving down for tech level. So tech level 1, it says focus on freight. Tech level 2, it says focus on planetology, so on and so forth. I guess one other thing we should talk about before we leave is planets. Planet production, getting planet materials, is kind of important. Based on your level on planets, it's going to depend on what kind of resourcing you do. So I can do 2 out of 2 planets right now, which I am collecting on 2 planets. It tells you the jump rate, how far away array. It also tells you how much you have in the space hold. So I have 40 out of 300 and 21 out of 300. So these are the containers that I can fill up. Under these little tabs, you're going to see mining continuously, depending on your mining. So you can extend this to 1 day. And it'll continuously mine. If you were to click on mining settings, you can see you can upgrade based on your mining arrays, how much you're going to pull for yields based on your regions. So go 3 on 3, you can go 2 on 1 or 1 on 6 or whatever you want, however many resources you want out of these 2 options. Once your containers are full or close to full, I'd recommend, or when you feel however many materials you need. So there's 375 in base metals. You would click launch and it would put it into space hold. So it's going to send the materials from the planet into orbit, and then there's going to be a little container, a space container sitting in orbit, and it would tell you how much is in the space hold. And then you'd click set destination, and it's going to take you right to your container. You'd collect the loot and move on. Understand these aren't safe. People can steal the materials. They will get a police marker on them, so they will be marked as thieves. But you can steal other people's containers, so I'd wait till you're close to the planet. So I would jump to this planet's region, launch the container, then click set destination to go collect the loot, so you're not jumping 30 or 40 jumps away I would be in the region when you go collect the loot. So I think that's the basis of everything in the game. I don't know if there's anything else I need to cover. Basic understanding, there's chat, right? Mail, notifications for certain things as you do them. Different chats you can join. Different chat groups you can join. So people can make custom chat groups you can group in. There is filters. You can join fleets. Fleets are party groups. You can find groups. You can make your own group. Fleets are up to players of 10. And then there's corporations. Corporations are guilds in EVE. And you can go through here based on your preferences, what kind of group you want to be. You want to be an English, American, casual. Okay, you can sort through here and see what group you want to join, what fits your style. You can go on YouTube videos, you can go on Discords and search more about them. You can send them a message directly, depending on the guild that you want to join. So they give you a little breakdown of what their guild is about. So depending on what you're looking for, obviously if you're looking for nullsec, you would click on nullsec and it would break down who's in nullsec. And then you live with that corporation in nullsec and fight based on how they're doing things. That's basically how you look for guilds. You can create your own. It's all up to you. So that's the basic gisting of what. Oh, I guess we can talk about the star chart quickly. And contacts. Obviously, contacts is pretty self-explanatory. You find a friend, you add their name, you add them to a player list. You can blacklist. You can mark people as hostile. What else is in here that's important? Wallet gives you a breakdown of where you've been spending your money. Shows your Plex, shows your ISK. You can filter out for market type transactions, order of your bounties, that kind of stuff. Contracts, deliveries, there's delivery systems in the game. I'm not really too familiar with this stuff, but you can collect people's loot if they're requesting you to move loot from one spot to another. Depending on the region, I'd be careful with this. That's one way that people camp other players. They put empty containers and then they blow them up with their shit. What else is in here? Star chart we can look at quickly. Ship tree is one way to look at all the ships in the game. See that these are all the different regions, different manufacturers. These are your 4 main factions, and these are side factions. So it's got some pirates, some different manufacturers. These are like mining interbuses for hauling. These are mining groups. There's different factions for different things. You can go through and look at it. It's a little breakdown, basically the tech level of the ships. Now then we can quickly look at the star chart and kind of explain that quickly. The star chart is pretty confusing for a lot of people when they get into it. That's not too bad to understand. So you can zoom in and out of the star map. You can move it around. Understand it's going to be focused on your region, wherever you're at. And then you can click zoom in and out for based on your region. So to focus on your area, this is the region we're in. So this is the star area that we're in, and this is all the regions or the jump points within our region. And then we can go to New Eden. We can click on any of these major centers. Obviously the ones in red are going to be low sec or null sec PvP areas. Anybody in the yellow is going to be kind of like a possibility to do PvP. And then obviously the orange is PvP. The reds are always going to be danger zones. It's kind of a way to navigate the map. Green is safe, red is bad. So you can kind of see everything's kind of clustered within the green is kind of in the middle, and then the red regions are on the outside skirts of it. It's kind of like how most PvP maps work. Like Albion's the same way. Everything's kind of clustered in the middle of the safe zones. Then the further you push out of those safe zones, the darker it gets. So certain areas, if you're looking for it, like the Citadel is going to be a very popular area. Oops. You can click on the region map and you can see all the set regions in there. Most of the time, it's not how you're navigating the map. You would navigate the map based on you type in here. You would click on history. You can see here, so you can click on history quickly to go do that. You can click on a search. keyboard's not coming up. Or you can click on security levels. And it'll give you interstellar trading centers, stations, and then security level. So depending on how you want to look at the map, if you want to see where all the major trading centers are, you can see what region they're in. Then you'd fly to that center and then find them. So, but generally, I don't know why it's not working right now, but you'd click on the magnifying glass, type in search for whatever region you're looking for. Oh, there it goes, pops up. So I'd click on Jita. I wanted to find Jita. Click search. And it would bring Jita up, right? So it's gonna zoom me into whatever Jita is. It's gonna bring up the regions. So this is the Jita center, and then there's different bases on wherever planets. More moon forwards where everybody hangs out. So you can click that as set destination, and that's gonna give you auto travel point to it, so you can fly there. So if that's not something you wanted to do, you could change it. And based on your search history, you could search through here. So I could go to Rens. You could also click it on avoidance system. So say, for example, you were flying down in nullsec and you had noticed a group of players were camping on Stargate or whatever is ZH3BS. You could click it to an avoidance system. And what it would do is when you're autopiloting, it's then try and reroute you not through that zone. And then to stop avoiding, you'd have to go back in here and stop avoiding. So that's kind of important to know how to for your autopilot. So you want to click stuff that's maybe an unsafe area, or it's a clusterfuck. Like for me right now in Jita, my avoidance is Jita. I don't want to go there. I want my navigation system to work myself around there, because if I go into Jita right now, it's actually a stop point because the Stargate's maxed out. So the gates are closed a lot of times, so you can't jump through there. So if I tell the system to navigate me around there, it's gonna navigate me around those star systems to get me to a different point. The jumps may be longer. Understand you can also do here, prefer safe, prefer less safe. So if you're a pirate and you're not safe to go into the safe zones, you would say keep me in less safe zones, right? So it'll try and navigate you through a less safe area. If you're a pirate and if you're doing PvE and don't want to fight, then you'd say prefer safe. That always isn't going to keep you in the safe areas, but it's going to try and keep you safe. Sometimes the star mapping isn't going to allow you to do that. I think that's it. I don't know what else to talk about. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. We'll see you next time.